Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about bike security. So if that's something that floats your boat and you're interested in, stay tuned. But first, roll the credits. Okay, welcome back. First of all, quick disclaimer, I'm not affiliated to any of the products in this video. I've gone out and bought them with my own money. Secondly, I am not a professional in bike security. So before you buy any products that you see on my channel, whether it's in this video or any other video, make sure you go out, do your own research, your own due diligence to make sure that they are the right products for you. Okay, so first of all, a bit of advice how I look at bike security. Now, myself personally, I have different needs for different situations, and I suspect that it's going to be the same for everyone else out there. And that can be from what the situation is that I am using the bike security or the bike lock. So, for example, I live in a very rural community. The crime rate is very low. I can nip down Asda, park my bike outside, and I can put a quick disc lock on, and that is all I need really to secure the bike. And to be honest, it'd most probably be okay even if I didn't put that disc lock on. However, you know, I've been working down in London, and if I nipped out to the shops down there and I parked on Asda or I parked in the street somewhere, I would want a lot more security on my bike, for obvious reasons. Another thing to take into account really is not just where you're leaving the bike, but how long you're leaving the bike for. So for example, as I've said, if I was leaving the bike for 5 or 10 minutes, yes, your bike can be stolen in that time. However, if you're only going to be there 5 or 10 minutes and you've got a lock that you know is going to take at least, 3 or 4 minutes to get off, then you're pretty safe just using a disc lock. However, if you go on holiday or you're on a bike tour and you're stopping in a B&B somewhere and you're leaving the bike overnight and you don't know what the area is like and you're going to be away from the bike for a long time, then I would suggest that you need something a little bit more secure or added security other than your disc lock. Okay, so let's talk about the two products that I use. And let me just point out that there are far better videos than mine to watch. I know Benelli do absolutely fabulous reviews of locks where they test them to destruction. They take angle grinders to them, sledgehammers, bolt cutters. So if you want that kind of review, head over to their website. Very comprehensive. They've got loads and loads of different locks on. A really, really good site. Obviously, I haven't got the money that Benelli have got, so I can't be cutting my locks up and taking angle grinders to them. I just can't afford to do that. So it's not that type of review. It's more about the use of the items and how useful they are, how easy they are to transport, so on and so on. Okay, so the two items that I use to secure my bike is the Oxford Hardcore XL chain and padlock. Big hefty chain, but it's still in that category that you can carry it on the bike and carry it with you. However, it is really heavy. You wouldn't want to be putting this in a backpack really. It's for a top box or a side box. And I have used these for years and years and years. Now, because it's so heavy, one of the things that I have been looking at is updating. So I've bought this Abyss Granit Detecto, or Detecto, however you want to pronounce it. It's an 8077 disc lock. And again, I really researched all the best disc locks out there, and this is one of the best viable options for me. Okay, let's look at the pros and cons of each lock. Now, as I said, I've used this Oxford chain for many, many years. And the pros with this chain is, one, if you've got a top box, I mean, even if you've got a day sack, you could put it in as long as you weren't going on a long ride, if it was just a short commute, because it is quite heavy. But the good pros about this is that if you're leaving your bike somewhere that you you know, you think there's a high risk of your bike getting stolen, or as I said, the scenario where you're in a B&B, you're leaving it overnight. The great thing with a chain is that you can actually put this through your wheel and then secure it to a railing, a lamppost, whatever. And that prevents thieves coming and picking your bike up and throwing it in the back of the van, because it's actually anchored to something in the landscape. So that is the main pro of this. The things that I don't like about it, the cons: one, the weight of it and how bulky it is. Secondly, it gets wet. It's got like this, I don't know what you would call it, like a synthetic material covering to stop it scratching your rims, but you still have to be very careful because there are exposed links and they can catch on the rims and chip the paint. And when it gets wet and it's horrible, you need a plastic bag to put it in. It's not nice to handle, your hands get dirty. But other than that, yeah, it's very, very good. As I said, I'm not going to go into the characteristics of it. It's one of the better chains out there, what I'm led to believe from watching other reviews where they have tried to destroy these things. Another tip is when you're chaining your bike up, always try to chain it in a way that the chain and the padlock isn't lying on the ground, because if it's lying on the ground, it's then open to attack by a sledgehammer. If it's up off the floor and they can't get it on the floor, they've got to use basically an angle grinder to get this one off. So yeah, it is a very good chain, and for the certain uses when you need it, excellent. It's not too long, it's not too big, just about right. Okay, so I have been using that, as I said, for many years, but I just wanted something a little bit portable, because now that I live out in the countryside, I don't need that level of security all the time. I just need something that I can pop on, keep in my pocket, and this is where the Abyss Granit Detecto disc lock comes in. I did research it, as I said, and on Granit they gave this a very high rating. They said that it was very, very good. With this, you just simply pop it onto the disc lock, walk away, happy to go. This model actually has an alarm, which is motion sensor, so that if anybody starts rattling it around, the alarm is going to go off. Now, I will set the alarm off a little bit later so you can have a listen. It is quite loud, but it's not deafening. I think the main use of the alarm for me would be that if I was in earshot of the bike, it would just alert me that somebody's messing with the bike. I think if somebody's determined to have your bike away, if you've got like a 20 grand Panigale sitting outside and they want that bike away, they're going to have it away whether the alarm goes off or not. That is going to be a professional thief. But for the majority of us who just have everyday bikes that we commute on, it's very unlikely that you're going to have a professional thief coming to get your bike stealing toward it, in my personal opinion of keeping bikes over the years. Normally, from all the friends I know who've had bikes stolen, it's just been opportune thieves, normally teenagers. They've seen that there's a lock that they know they can get off, and they've had the bike away, and then the bike's found within a couple of miles, trashed somewhere. It's very rare. I don't know anybody who's had a really high-end bike stolen. Which also, you know, when I was talking about buying the lock that suits you, obviously if you've got a 20 grand plus bike, then you need to be investing in really, really good locks, and perhaps more than one attached to the bike at the same time. But yeah, I'm transgressing a little bit there. Going back to the Abyss lock, it's very easy to put on. You pop it onto your disc brake, it takes 2 seconds, and you just walk away and leave it with the peace of mind that your bike's secured. The one thing, the cons of this lock are that, one, they can pick the bike up because it's not tethered to anything, it's not anchored down, so they could come with a van, pick your bike up, throw your bike in the back of the van, and away they go. The other thing that they can do is they can take an angle grinder to the disc. The disc is the weak spot with this lock. There are a lot of disc locks out there, and I've seen a lot of them defeated very easily with crowbars, with angle grinders. This lock, as I said, if you go on the Benelli website, this lock, they can't do that. It's very, very difficult to get this actual lock off by attacking the lock. So what they'll do, they'll just attack the disc and get it off that way, and then ride off on your bike. So, you know, it can be defeated, but for the purposes that I want it for, it's just, you know, there you go. I've just alarmed the lock. The lock itself, there are a lot of these types of locks out there, disc locks. There are a lot of cheaper ones, and to be honest, I wouldn't buy a cheap one. Cheap one's better than nothing. It's going to deter people, you know. If they see your bike with a disc lock on and the bike next to it has got no protection on, they're going to go for the easy option every time. So, you know, if you can only afford a cheap one, still get the cheap one. But my advice is get something like this, because a lot of the cheaper ones, they're quite easily defeated. They can be pried off with crowbars, easily removed with a disc grinder. Okay, so what I'll do now, I will show you how easy this is to use, fitting it to the bike. And I'm not going to bother with the chain because it's not rocket science how to put a chain on a bike, but I'll show you how this one works. Okay, so here's the disc lock, and as you can see, the key goes in the bottom, you twist it, and this lever just pops up this bar, and it's a simple matter of popping the bar through, sliding it up, and as you can see, it alarms to let you know, and that's all there is to it. It's so quick, it's off the ground. It's a really, really great little thing. There's a little LED light on the side that blinks red every, I don't know, 10 seconds or something like that to show that people it's alarmed. Now, if somebody comes and messes with this alarm, then gives you 3 seconds to undo it, and then the alarm will go off. So, as you can see, it's not super loud, but it's loud enough. Again, it's another deterrent for me. It's more to let me know than to frighten the burglar or the thief away, should we say. Okay, so talk about price. This comes in around about 120 on your eBay website and those kind of websites. It comes with this nice little zip up pouch, which is a nice touch. Zip it away, keep everything clean, keep everything tidy. Another thing I like to use when I've got this on is one of these just extendable things. Just pop it down to the disc onto your handlebar like so, just to remind you that it's on, so you're not going to be a dozy mare and jump on your bike and ride off with the disc lock back on. They're only about £3 again off eBay. The Oxford Hardcore lock and chain, anywhere in between about £55 and £70. Again, from good retailers, eBay, wherever you want to get them from. Everything's online nowadays, ain't it? So, just a short video today. There are a lot of other things that you can use. You know, you can use these ground anchors with these absolutely humongous chains for locking your bike up at night if you live in a really high crime rate area. They reckon that using a bike cover just to pop over your bike is another great deterrent. I've never got on with those. I've had them in the past, but they're just too much of a faff for me. But again, you know, if you live in a really bad area, is it worth the faff to put on? Most probably, yeah. But for me, again, when you look into buying the lock for your bike, try and take all those things into consideration. One price, always go for the most expensive one you can afford, because it's going to be the best one. Do your due diligence, really research it, make sure that the lock that you're buying is a decent lock. They do all these different standard ratings on them, you know, how secure they are. Read up on it, look what the different standards mean, the awards that they get. And again, take into consideration how you're going to be using it. You know, if you're commuting every day and you've only got a backpack, think about the weight of these chains. So there's lots and lots of things to take into consideration when thinking about security for your bike. So I hope that's been helpful. Thank you everybody for keeping faith with the channel. I have had difficulties getting the content uploaded, but I am doing my best for you. So please, I know everybody out there in motorbike land, you are some of the most generous people I know, so if you could please just hit the like button, it really, really does help the channel out. And if you're feeling really generous, just hit that subscribe button as well. So once again, thank you for keeping the faith. Everybody ride safe. Bike Rider Reviews out.